She looks so cozy, so at home, and so herself. Sydney is clearly comfortable with who she is and confident in her own skin. I didn't see my last girlfriend without makeup until we'd been dating for 7 or 8 months. But Sydney's a natural beauty. Likely she's aware of that and knows she doesn't need makeup to knock a man's socks off. Or maybe she just thinks of me as a nice older man, big brother type, or, God forbid, a dad. She knows I have a son around her age, after all. She could have emerged in her comfy clothes simply because she doesn't think of me as a man at all. At least, not in that way. I had to embrace pajamas, she said, her tongue sweeping out to dampen her lips. All my jeans are dirty and it's way too yucky outside to put on dress pants. Dress pants would have been an abomination at a time like this. I agree. Ribs tightening when she laughs. God, she's beautiful. I knew you'd get it, she says, her gaze dragging down my chest to my hips, lingering below my waistband long enough to make me feel things I shouldn't feel before sweeping back up again. If you want to join me in the comfy sweatpants life, you're welcome to. I may take you up on that after dinner, I say, already knowing I won't. It would be much harder to hide the hint of an erection I'm sporting in a pair of sweatpants. I turn back to the stove and give the rice a final stir before removing it from the burner, determined to get myself under control. Dinner should be ready in about 15 minutes. Just waiting for the cauliflower and sweet potatoes to finish roasting. I'll sauté the spinach while they're cooling. I'm making vegetarian rice bowls with a lemon balsamic dressing and a cheese and apple plate for dessert. Sounds and smells delicious, she says, appearing beside me and reaching for the fridge handle. Looks like all we need is a glass of wine. Chardonnay okay for you? I have a bottle open from last night. Chardonnay is great, I say, even though I know wine isn't a good idea. But I'll only have one glass, just enough to make me sleepy, not enough to make cradling Sydney's face in my hands again seem okay. She closes the fridge and fetches 2 wine glasses from the cupboard beside the stove, her body so close to mine I can smell the honeysuckle scent of her shampoo, feel the warmth of her skin. If she were mine, I would pin her against the cabinet, kiss her until she forgets all about pouring the wine, and slip my hand down the front of her sweatpants. I'd give her a proper thank you for picking me up in the middle of a storm, and show her how glad I am I was there to keep her safe. I want to keep this woman safe. From everything. Even before she told me about losing her mother when she was barely a teen, I could sense sadness beneath her contagious smile, a wound that hasn't completely healed. If Sydney were mine, I'd like to think I could help her with that. That I could care for her enough to make up for the mother who didn't live to love her. But I can't do any of those things, and the fact that I'm longing to care for this woman as much as I want to touch her isn't rational or sane. I'm making a mental note to call my therapist for an emergency session when I get back to Vermont when Sydney asks, "So is there a Mrs. Gideon? Or a girlfriend back home?" I shift her way, my heart lurching when I realize how close she is. Close enough to feel her breath on my neck, to see the hunger in her eyes. A hunger that has nothing to do with grain bowls or a cheese plate. A part of me is savagely excited that she wants to know if I'm available. The other part of me warns that this is still a bad idea. But that second voice is a whisper now. Maybe by the end of dinner, it will be quiet enough to ignore completely.